The origins of the Bali, Layak. Layak, a mythological creature from the Bali region which is depicted as scary with big eyes, fanged teeth, tall stature, and hairy with a long sticking out tongue. According to stories circulating from generation to generation, this Layak is an incarnated creature who studies black magic. To strengthen his knowledge, he must seek sacrifice. Usually Layak often targets human organs that have become corpses to make potions. However, it does not rule out the possibility that living humans could become targets for Layak. A pregnant woman, for example, Layak targets the blood of the baby in the pregnant woman's womb to be sucked. The form of Layak, according to local community beliefs, has 3 different manifestations. Can be a human during the day, an animal such as monkeys, pigs, and other animal forms, and can take the form of a fireball. It is said that this mythological creature on the island of the gods is associated with a Balinese folklore story about a powerful mandraguna woman, named Kalanarang. According to stories circulating in Balinese society, Layak is an incarnated creature who studies black magic, and to strengthen his knowledge he must seek sacrifice. Generally, Layak likes to look for human organs to make potions. Layak often targets human organs in the form of corpses. Therefore, Balinese people often encounter it around Balinese cemeteries. Not just corpses, Layak also targets living human organs. The story of Kalanarang. It is said that during the reign of King Erlanga from the Daha kingdom, Kediri, there lived a powerful woman who worshipped Dewi Durga named Kalanarang. Kalanarang is a powerful magician who can transform into Layak. She is a widow who has a beautiful daughter named Ratna Mangali. But unfortunately, the beauty of Ratna Mangali was in vain because no one wanted to marry her. Men were reluctant to marry her for fear of living with a witch who could turn into a Layak. Knowing that no one wanted to marry his daughter, Kalanarang was furious. He also spread disaster in the Kediri kingdom area by ordering his students who could turn into Layak to spread a deadly plague that was difficult to cure and could kill anyone. King Erlanga, who knew about this, did not remain silent. He ordered Empu Bahula to marry the daughter of Kalanarang, Ratna Mangali. This marriage between Ratna Mangali and Empu Bahula made Kalanarang extremely happy. The party was held on a large scale for 7 days and 7 nights. Regardless of the initial intentions ordered by King Erlanga, Empu Bahula truly loves and cares for each other with Ratna Mangali. However, this happy atmosphere soon disappeared when Empu Bahula stole the magic book which was the secret to the magic of Kalanarang. Henceforth, this magic book was given to Empu Barada, the teacher of Empu Bahula. Knowing that his magic book had been stolen, Kalanarang was furious. He bewitches or harms other people with black magic every person he meets. Until finally, Kalanarang and Empu Barada met in the Jira area. The warning from Empu Barada to Kalanarang to stop the curse he was spreading was not followed. So fierce fighting is inevitable. The battle was won by Empu Barada. The powerful magical woman who worshipped Goddess Durga died, but it is believed that black magic such as her leek magic still exists today. It is said that there are still some Balinese people who use black magic to become Layak with the aim of having physical immunity and being able to do whatever they want. Until now, Layak as a ghost or as a practice of black magic is still found in Bali. Basically, leek science is a spiritual science that aims to seek enlightenment through sacred letters. In Balinese script there is no such thing as Layak. What exists is Lia, Ak, which means Lena script, injecting and releasing the power of script in the body through certain procedures. The power of this script is called the 5-knee script. Any human being who studies any brand of spirituality when it reaches its peak will definitely emit light, aura. This light can come out through the body's 5 sense doors: ears, eyes, mouth, crown and genitals. In general, light comes out through the eyes and mouth, so that when we see people rushing to a grave or a deserted place, the fire seems to be burning the person's hair. In principle, leek science does not study how to hurt someone. What is studied is how they get the sensation. When meditating in contemplation of these characters, when the sensation comes, the person can move out of his body through ngelikas or ngelikas sukmo. The word ngelikas means inner contraction so that our astral body can come out. This is also the reason why people layak when they are preparing for their inner puja is called angaraklekakas. At this point our spirit can travel in the form of light, which is commonly called ndihan, a ball of light that shoots quickly. This ndihan is part of the human astral body. This body is not limited by space and time, and here the perpetrator can enjoy the beauty of the night in another inner dimension. There are 3 legendary layaks, 2 female and 1 male. With her great magic skills, the owner of this black magic can turn into Rangda, or the queen of black magic. Leek is said to haunt cemeteries, feed on corpses, have the power to transform himself into animals. He even takes the form of a monkey with gold or large rat teeth, a ball of fire and even a bald giant. It is said that he had a very long tongue and large fangs. According to its etymology, the word Rangda, which is known in Bali, comes from Old Javanese, namely from the word Randa, which means widow. Rangda is the name for a widow from the Triwangsa group, namely Vaisya, Kshatriya and Brahmin. Meanwhile, the Sudra group is called Balu, and the word Balu in Balinese means Rangda. In subsequent developments, we hear the term Rangda for widow less and less, because it is feared that it will give an unpleasant impression, considering that Rangda's form is eng, spooky, and scary, and is synonymous with people who have leftist knowledge, Pengiwa. We especially get this in folklore performances. In other words, there is an impression of fear, offense and shame if it is said that you can Nelana Rangjana. Layak. Most likely Rangda comes from Queen Mahendradatta, who lived on the island of Java in the 11th century. He was exiled by King Dharmodayana because he was accused of committing witchcraft against the consorts of the 2 kings. According to legend, he took revenge by killing half the kingdom, which then belonged to him and to Dharmodayana's son, Langa. Then he was replaced by someone wise. The name Rangda also means widow. Rangda is very important to Balinese mythology. His battles against Barong or against Langa are often shown in ballet. This ballet is very popular and is an important heritage in Balinese tradition. Rangda is depicted as a woman with long, messy hair and long nails, a long tongue and long breasts. His face was scary and he had long, sharp fangs. Types of Rangda. Identifying the types of Rangda that develop in Bali is very difficult. This is because Rangda's form is generally the same. Indeed, in the story of Kalanarang there are other forms of Rangda such as Rurang, Selulak, but these are the minions of C. Kalanarang and their position is more in the stories than sacred. To distinguish the form of Rangda is to look at the shape of his face, Krurai, namely, Nyinga. If the shape of Rangda's face resembles a lion and protrudes slightly forward, Munju. The nature of Rangda is fierce and wild. Nyelaim. If the shape of Rangda's face resembles a human face and is slightly wider, Lumbang. Rangda's shape is like this, showing an authoritative and haunted nature. Giant. The shape of Rangda's face resembles that of a giant like the one we see in Rangda in general. Usually Rangda is scary. In fact, this understanding is more inspired by folk tales which contain elements of Rangda. The story with the greatest influence is Kalanarang. The story written in manuscript describes that during Erlang's reign in the 11th century there was a widow called Kalanarang in Jira village who had a beautiful daughter. Her daughter's name was Ratna Mangali, who had committed adultery, but none of the young men from the village and surrounding areas had the courage to approach her. This is because it is known that his mother has knowledge of black magic and practices black magic. Many people died because of his knowledge. This made everyone hate him. But from the other side, Kalanarang really thirsts for black magic. Her bad reputation eventually reached the palace, and several soldiers took the initiative and asked the king for permission to punish the widow. The soldiers headed to Jira village and found his resting place. One of the soldiers dragged his hair, because Kalanarang was shocked and woke up. His eyes widened, then fire came out like light and then burned the soldier. All the soldiers were frightened and tried to run, but with the power of his eyes, in an instant the soldiers were burned to a crisp. Only one soldier managed to survive and later reported the terrible incident he had just experienced. Kalanarang knew that the palace was involved in a scandalous act of attempted murder, and he became uncontrollably angry and spread the evil supernatural power and then caused a big epidemic. Layak also uses pregnant women as sacrifices to suck the blood of the baby in their womb. During the day, Layak will transform into a human as usual, but at night it will transform itself into Layak to carry out all its rituals.